I'm attorney Joey Franks with the Franks Law Firm, and I'm the Mississippi DUI lawyer. I recently received a comment from Mike Mccrory requesting that we do a video on what an individual's rights are when they are stopped. While this applies to DUIs, it can also apply to other traffic stops and violations. When it comes to being pulled over and you think you may be getting a DUI, the first thing I would advise all my clients is to remember, an ounce of sugar goes a lot further than a pound of salt. The side of the road is not the place to argue with the officer. If they are going to write you a DUI, they are going to write you a DUI. Another thing I would advise everyone is that you have the right to remain silent. The right to remain silent is not a privilege. It is something that is granted to you by the United States Constitution. I cannot tell you how many reports I have read or how many statements I have heard where an individual says, I only had a couple, or I only took one drag, or I took only one puff. I highly recommend people exercise their right to remain silent. And you don't have to be rude on the side of the road when you do it. You can just say, officer, I would like to exercise my Fifth Amendment right to remain silent at this time. Now, some officers may give you a little bit of grief over it. All the same, you have the right. I highly recommend you exercise it. Speaking of rights, another area where clients tend to get in a little bit of trouble is authorizing an officer to search your vehicle. I cannot stress, if an officer has probable cause to search your vehicle, he or she is not asking your permission to search it. If they have probable cause or a search warrant, they will search your vehicle and your person. Even if the officer says, so now I know you have something to hide, or if the officer says, you must be hiding something because you won't let me search your vehicle. Again, politely just inform them, officer, I'm not trying to be rude. I am exercising my right not to undergo a warrantless search. That's all you have to say, and a professional police officer will accept that, respect it, and he will take the necessary protocols. Bear in mind, there are some bad apples out there, just like any other profession. An officer may see you exercising those rights as impeding upon his or her authority. You are not. These are constitutional rights that were given to you. You have the right to exercise them. There are also a couple of other things an individual can do to avoid getting pulled over in the first place, or if you are pulled over, to avoid getting extra tickets. When an officer stops you, he or she will ask you for three things: license, registration, and proof of insurance. Please make sure you have a valid driver's license. Some common ways that people have their license suspended and they aren't aware of it necessarily are unpaid child support. This can come back and bite you and can result in the suspension of your driver's license in some circumstances. Another way is you can have outstanding fines or tickets that were unpaid. They may be minor, but all the same, the Department of Public Safety may have suspended your driver's license. So please make sure you have a valid driver's license. Registration. Make sure your tags are current. Make sure you have the current registration card in your glove box. I highly recommend you keep it all together in one place, along with the third thing, proof of insurance. Very important you have that in there also. Failure to have any of those can result in additional tickets. We all know being pulled over by a police officer can be a nerve-wracking affair. Stay calm, stay cool, stay collected. Tell the truth, provide the necessary documentation the officer requests. Do not allow the officer to search your vehicle, and exercise your right to remain silent. I certainly hope this video helps. I'll try keeping more coming. Thanks, Mike, for giving the suggestion. If anybody else has a suggestion, please leave a comment